move right along here and have Lydia talk to us. Lydia, it's weird to not see you like in a reflective vest out in the middle of the fairground parking lot here. So hello in real life. Lydia is the garbage program manager from St. Paul Public Works. I would say friend of the council. And I think you're here to talk to us about our future. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Lydia. Thank you.
Definitely. And you said speak for about 15 minutes. Yeah. Don't overwhelm you, cut me off that time. So I could talk about garbage and recycling all day long. That's what I do all day long. Yeah, as Maggie said, Lydia, and I primarily, if anybody knows me here, you probably know me from the drop-off events. Volunteer every year. I've been with the city for about 5.5 years in various positions in the garbage and recycling world, and now managing the garbage contract with the consortium of haulers. Had that passed on to me. So no, I did not write the contract. Yes, I managed the contract. Happy to answer any questions about that current contract. Most people have strong feelings, but primarily here to focus on the fact that there is a new garbage hauling contract starting on April 1st. So 2 weeks from now. And want to highlight some of the big changes that'll affect every household, and then happy to take any questions. If I can't answer something for you, I'll give you my business card. Happy to, we want this to be a worthwhile change for everybody. A while back, the city had done a garbage advisory committee with community members to see how we feel about different contracts. What do you want to change in the next one? So we're at the end of those 7 years, and we're implementing a lot of those things, as many of them as possible. The whole 20-something page report, if anybody's read it on the website, you're welcome to, but feel free to ask questions as we go or at the end, whatever works for you. So currently, for those who don't know, recycling 1 to 4 unit dwellings, single family, duplex, triplex, fourplexes, recycling is picked up by Eureka. That's been the same for many years. Condos and townhomes still picked up by Eureka. On November 1st, all 5 or more unit dwellings began or received a new hauler. That's FCC Environmental. They are a new company to the area. This is their first contract in the Midwest. And we are, I was gonna say taking a chance with them, but we vetted them pretty darn hard before we let them into our city. So what it's switching on April 1st is our garbage hauling. 5 or more dwellings with 5 or more units continues to be private hauling. Multi-unit dwellings, apartments, they can all choose their own garbage hauler. But for all 1 to 4 unit homes, currently it's the consortium. Now we're moving to 90% of households being picked up by FCC Environmental. And then 10% of households will be picked up by city trucks. So the city decided to do that for a myriad of reasons. Again, happy to get into them, but ultimately we have our own fleet, our own staff, and we'll be doing 10% of the city's hauling. And that hauling will include yard waste for anybody who has yard waste services. Hopefully you got your cart delivered, brand new. I think they're pretty. I took a lot of pictures, but I'm biased. So the city, if you fall into that 10%, they'll pick up your yard waste as well. If you fall into FCC's 90%, they'll be picking up your yard waste, and that'll be picked up on the same day as your collection. So same way it happens now. Yard waste service only runs April 1 through November 30. So if you want service, contact us. That's just weekly pickup. Questions about just general hauling? Otherwise, I'll keep moving along. Am I talking loud enough, Maggie, for the online folks? Excellent. So another big change, bulky items. Again, if you guys are all in single family homes, you're probably used to some of these. Hopefully you know that up till now, for the last 7 years, depending on your container size, 1 of 4 service levels, you could have either 2 or 3 big items picked up at no additional cost to you. So when we say bulky, we mean mattresses, water heaters, microwaves, anything that either can't fit in your garbage container or is hazardous, anything with Freon in it. We don't want that going to to say landfill, all of our waste goes to a, processing facility, but now it will be one item per unit per month. So if you live in a single family dwelling, you get 12 pickups a year. If you live in a duplex, that's 24 pickups a year. But it does have to be spaced out for months. So you couldn't put up 24 on one day. We have to space out our staff and keep in mind that these are humans doing the picking up, and we gotta spread the love, I'll say. But we do still have this year, though, another program on top of this. So there's a bulky item program the city offers. Ramsey County is actually doing free unlimited mattress recycling. They did it last year too. If you know someone who owns an apartment building and is always trying to get rid of mattresses, if you were trying to get rid of mattresses, please don't dump them. Tell your friends, don't dump them. They are actually being recycled at Second Chance Recycling, and you just have to contact them in advance. And that's on top of those 12 items that you'll get per year. For those of you who are, I don't know, have an item you want to get rid of in the next 2 weeks, call your front hauler still. But otherwise, starting next month. You do have to still schedule it in advance, so we need to set up those routes so we know where to send the big trucks. So you just call our office, use our online form, or email us, and we'll get some out there. And then the only exception to that is if you have appliances and electronics, it maxes out at 3 for those before you would have to pay. So any addition, you can have more than 12 a year if you want, but you have to pay $30 a piece then after that. And then appliances and electronics, we cap it at 3 just because they are expensive to get rid of, and we have to keep the city's budget in mind too. So we are more than happy to do these for households, and we really, I mean, the goal is clean city. We want to discourage illegal dumping as much as possible. So,
Question,
yeah, go ahead.
when you say the electronics are, because tech don't exist, isn't there a way the city could work with tech don't? So why limit to 3? So if you had a 4th or a 5th one, because tech dump is free, so.
Yeah, I can look into that. Tech dump. I'll just say I would look into that.
Okay.
That did spark something else that I want to talk about. And that was all I was going to say about bulkies. So I'll jump right into formerly tech dump, now repowered.
Yeah.
Over on Vandalia, somewhere over by the in the what's over there?
Midwood.
Yeah, I was going to say Bang Brewing because that's my favorite place to go over there. If anyone's been, but the county's actually opening a new environmental center for those who don't know, also on April 1st. So a lot of changes in the garbage and recycling world in this area on April 1st. That is not, the city we didn't have any part in this, but certainly it's open to all Ramsey County residents. That's us. Electronics recycling will not be taken there. So it's still going to be repowered who is doing the recycling of the materials, but drop off will be taken there. The hazardous waste facility is moving there. They have much better hours for those who have gone to the 1 on 5 Empire Drive to get rid of your hazardous waste, paint, chemicals, syringes, all that kind of batteries. They take it all for free, but now it's going to be at their new environmental center, and that's on, I don't know the address memorized, but it's on Larpenter and Dale. Yeah, it's on Kent Street. It's like 700 Kent or something.
Real close by.
Yeah, for Como is not far at all. But that'll be moving to their facility. They will also have a regular recycling drop off. So similar to the one at 309 Como at the advanced bulk waste management site. So many businesses buying out of the businesses. So that's the county's environmental center. They're also trying to make it a community space. If you know what Fix It clinics are, you know, they're going to host those there. We can go and take an item there. But for now, I will say electronics 2025 limited to 3, as we're talking TVs and things like that, but they can also be dropped off for free, unlimited per year at the Ramsey County site. So if you do get into that situation where you think, man, the city picked up my 3 TVs, I've got one more.
All your
Holiday
Yeah.
lights?
What's that?
Holiday lights?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Ramsey.
Yep, they take all types of electrical cords. So
Okay.
you got an extension cord as well. I don't know what else, cell phone cords, these cords.
So the e-waste will be taken to the new roadstone facility?
Mhm. Yep, yep. You can get rid of up to 3 big items at your curb or alley, and then anything beyond that, you would either have to pay or drive it there for free, which if you have a car, I recommend it. Okay. Questions about, yeah?
And I'll just also plug here, since we have so many guests, District 10 is actually coordinating for neighbors, helping neighbors sort of thing with bulky items and electronics, so. Recognizing that for some people, even getting that mattress from their house to the curb is a barrier, so we've been recruiting some volunteers that are willing to schedule a time to go to a neighbor's house and help move those items to the curb to help everybody participate in this program. And that also includes some electronics delivery options, but we're still working out the details, but just so you know, if anybody's interested in helping with that or needs help with that, or know someone who needs help with that, it'll be on our newsletter.
That's awesome. That is one thing the city won't do, is go into your home and remove it for you. So if you guys are able to bridge that gap for those who can't, that's awesome.
Your department is helping finance this.
We can do it, but we can help finance it, great, yeah, I brought there's no questions to come up about that, but yeah, I figured you know. more than I would.
And the yard waste will be taken to the Ramsey County yard waste sites?
No, they don't offer commercial hauling there, so like you mean like the one on Pierce Butler, for example? No, you can take your own personal yard waste there and drop it off. Our city trucks won't go there because they don't allow commercial vehicles there, so we actually go, our plan is to go to the one at Midway. On Midway, near I don't keep forgetting the names of it, I was gonna say Keg and Case, it's a similar. No one's gonna market at Mountain Units. In that area. Yeah, that's the closest facility. It's a transfer station, so we dump the yard waste there. They put it in the back of a semi, take it to an industrial composting facility, likely called SET. I think it's in Shakopee, so close by. They compost it.
On yard waste, before we could call and they would come, like, if you don't need it regularly, but every now and then, and they charge $3, $3.50 or something.
That was a great question. I forgot to say it. Yes, we are still offering that service. Yep, just call in advance. Give us 2 days notice so we can make the routes, because the truck will only come by if we know it's out there, but it'll be moved up to $4 a bag. $4 a bag for those. And then for those who've ever used it, we also do take additional garbage bags. If you ever, Christmas comes around, you have a party, you just set the garbage bags next to the container, and we'll put it on your bill for $4. You don't need to call for 4 extra garbage bags. But be advised, if you set one out there, we will take it. And we will charge you $4. Because again, our goal is really just clean city. We don't want garbage laying around. Okay, the next thing I just want to push is that the city is taking over all customer service for garbage. We took over recycling a year and a half ago, and I think a year and a half ago, might be almost 2 years now. We found that people like that, so we are taking over all garbage calls too. That means if your garbage is missed, call us. If your cart breaks, call us, we'll come fix it. And at this point, actually, now that we took over garbage cart and recycling repairs, or recycling cart repairs, we've been ahead of it, so the driver will often report it to us before, it's broken. That's our goal, is you never even know your container's broken, you don't see it, your cart is perfect, but if it breaks, let us know, we come out and fix it. Those are city jobs now, so call us for all of it. And then another big thing that the city's taking over that's changing is billing. Currently, the way it's done, you should have received, those of you who are homeowners, your last bill from the hauler January 5th. That was due January 5th. If you haven't paid it yet, you've got until March 25th before it turns over to the city and we assess you. But we are going to start billing post-quarter. So billing has always been quarterly last 7 years. And you've always paid at the start of the quarter, which we've found caused confusion for folks, because if you did something during that quarter, it wasn't reflected until the next quarter's bill, and people wondered where the charge came from. So we'll be doing billing at the end of the quarter. So you're not going to see another bill until mid-July. So service April, May, and June, the bill is actually coming in July, and it'll be really similar to the way that sewers assesses at this point. So it'll actually come from the assessment office you'll get an invoice in the mail. For the first time, it's gonna be all mail. And on there is where you can find, oh, here's how to set up auto pay if you want auto pay. Here's how to do online payments. The only thing we don't do is payments over the phone. You can come drop off a check at our office, whatever is most convenient for you, but we will be taking over. Billing is really what it is. It's coming through our assessments office, and then there's a portal you can pay on that way. And those bills will go directly to whoever is listed as the payer on the taxes. And that address, that's who the bill goes to, so. If you have a tenant, you cannot put it in their name, and that's. Because if your tenant doesn't pay, city's gonna assess you anyway, so we just give it to the homeowner and say, you're responsible. If you wanna pass that cost off to your tenant, go for it. We don't care whose credit card gets wiped, we care about that. That it gets paid.
So,
Yeah.
so on that note, since the city's taking it over, it's going through the assessor's office. Right now, I pay waste management, use my credit card, there's no 2.5% fee. Because it's going through the assessor's office, now there'll be a fee.
No, so if you use a credit card, there's still the credit card fee, yeah, if you wanna set up.
Waste management versus.
Oh, okay, I don't know what they're
That's why I'm
doing.
saying this,
I
this
see.
is a difference now, so.
Sure, yeah, we do a credit card fee, so you can set up an e-check instead. That's probably the best way to do it, is a direct, if you're able to, direct removal from your account.
Okay.
No,
So now there's a fee.
only for credit card payments, yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Sorry about that change. Yes.
Question, is your, spend winters in a warmer climate,
Mhm.
do you suspend service?
Yeah, definitely. Service holds will function the same. Actually, if anybody's ever had a vacant property, you can even set that on just an indefinite hold. But otherwise, minimum of 4 weeks, you can put it on hold, and we need 2 weeks notice, so that way we can process it in our system. So if you know you're going out of town for 4 weeks, if you know you're doing construction, you're demoing a unit or something, if you've got a duplex, triplex, you can put that on hold, otherwise we won't know, so we'll charge you for it. But, yes,
So the newbie, and it's moved from South Minneapolis where I love our compost pickup.
mhm.
Are there any conversations in the chute about us getting compost pickup?
Yeah, definitely. For those who don't know, for right now, there's a drop off site it is in Pullman District, right? Over by the.
Victoria,
Mhm, yeah, I was gonna say the water park. I keep getting it
our set of soccer fields has a drop.
a drop site, but then food scraps pickup is coming soon. It's actually the county who's doing the program. So city is just supporting the county whatever way we can, but they are rolling it out. So we're following their lead on it, so I don't have an actual timeline. But there is a website you can go to, it's just foodscrapspickup.com. And it's for Ramsey and Washington County. I don't remember how many cities are already online, but I think it's about 10 of them. They're bringing us online last because we are the biggest, so we have the most kinks to work out. And it won't be a secondary bin. You don't have to call to opt in, but you do have to call to request. Get into the reasons why, but to request the compost bag to put it into, and they'll send them to you in the mail. And then you actually just put it right in your garbage container. And if you know, all of our garbage in St. Paul goes to the recycling and energy center down in Newport. So they know where all of it goes already. So what they did is they built an entire new wing on their facility. I don't know if anybody's been down there. Tour, very fun. And all of the trash from residential households in St. Paul and Ramsey, Washington County now will be going onto a conveyor belt. Literally, it all gets dumped, gets pushed, and there are robots that pick out the green bag. They're trained to recognize that exact bag color and pull it off the line. It's very fun to watch it in action. I was a skeptic, and I watched it operate. I think we're trying to make it as accessible as possible. One of the big things with St. Paul, we don't have a lot of room left in our alleys. Take back there, so another container. I think a lot of people know they already struggle to have room for their garbage and the recycling container. So that's the way that the program will work. And the timeline is. So you can sign up for notifications at that website. Hopefully not. Am I giving too much information? Is this good?
It's great.
Great, okay. how am I on time? Because I think I covered all the main things, but I've got a handful more that I'm happy to talk about if,
I can put additional, I'm gonna try and, process all of the changes to this contract and put them in a very readable way in our newsletter with links to the city's expanded details, so if you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll see it there as it rolls out here April 1st, and Lydia is reachable at city too, but if anybody has any questions right now, we can take a couple more, I think. Otherwise. we can-
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks for managing this, but the next couple of weeks might be rather stressful. So thanks for doing that, but, when we went to the model of single hauler, whatever it's called, there's a lot of concern about the smaller haulers that get pushed out and not be able to bid. How is that handled now that we're breaking away from the 5-year ban or how do we?
Sure, I don't have all the answers there, I will say, because we're a big enough city that we have a procurement office who handled all the requests. So we wrote the request for proposals and we offered consortiums to apply again. So one hauler didn't have to bid on the entire city, similar to what happened in 2017, 2018, where 13 haulers came in together. So that was completely open and welcome. One hauler could bid on just 20,000 accounts if they wanted to. And ultimately, I don't have the numbers. Actually, I don't know the numbers because I didn't ask the procurement office myself. You are welcome to make a FOIA request if you're really curious. But of all the bids that they assessed.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. I'll say I don't have the number in my head for how many haulers bid, but they were welcome to, I'll say, as long as they had a competitive proposal. And I mean, obviously the city took on 10%, so we could have done a split and accepted multiple bids. But ultimately did not. And the 10% hauling, and we wanted to do it as a department, but that actually also came down from the mayor. He really wanted, as a city, to have the capability, a natural disaster hit. We have our own trucks to go out and take care of it. We don't have to, say, hey, Waste Management, we're gonna contract you for whatever amount of money you say, because it's a natural disaster. We can send our own truck if there are missed collections. The hauler's not, they're down 5 drivers or something, COVID hit. Well, we can send out, okay, that's a weird scenario because maybe then we'd have co-drivers, but they have drivers out sick. We can send one of our trucks to go pick up the slack on those routes, so to speak. So, I know, Mike, I digress from your question, but, that's just, okay. Just some examples of why we are very excited. We're adding an entirely new, well, pretty much new division to Public Works. I don't think the city has hauled its own garbage since the 50s, the 80s. Anybody remembers?
I have one question. Lydia, do you want to talk at all about the drop-off events and if those are still going to happen?
Yes. In brief, no, they're not happening anymore. Essentially, not a cost-effective way to dispose of items when you break it down, and see how much we're paying per item or per person. And we've seen over the years that it can be volatile how many people show up, whether it's a line all the way out to the Bell Museum or whether it's a trickle. And so we are working on pushing programs like the bulky item pickups rather than programs like the drop-off events. And also found that, we're doing the surveying the last couple of years and we're hoping, well, the apartment dwellers are coming into these because they're the ones who don't have the bulky option or bulky pickup options. And it's almost exclusively, single family homes, which is great. But that amongst a number of other reasons, D10 always happy to talk offline about alternatives, but that's the reality right now. But summer.
Well, just some additional context for anybody who might not be aware that before this year, for many years, the city had 2 or more annual events where people could just drive these kinds of bulky items and other items up. We co-hosted with them at the state fairgrounds every year. In the fall, the past few years, you may have gone to it with your electronics or something, but And we've discussed, how they've scaled back in recent years, and really we're accepting items that are largely free year round now anyways, so I think that was part of the decision. But I do think it's important that now that we're in a year without one of those events, we do keep an eye out, and I'm sure Public Works is doing this too, for what is falling through the cracks without having that event. I actually just got an email about, is there a free paper shredding event coming up? And I couldn't find one in the entire county. And maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but that's something that Public Works probably wants to hear about, and I'm already pressing the new County Environment Center to host an event for it, but they said not this year. We're working on it.
And that reminded me, Public Works has done illegal dumping pickup for a long time. We've taken it under our division now, so when you call that phone number, for any garbage and recycling question, you can also call us and pick up any illegal dumping you see. Just a little update on that. I thought you were gonna say, now we're gonna watch out to see if more people illegally dump without the events.
Not that soon.
No, sure.
All right. Are there any additional questions for Lydia before we move on? All right. Well, thank you, Lydia. We appreciate the answers, and probably we may have more in the future, and so we'll certainly reach out. Hopefully, we can see you back here again once this is up and running, and kind of get a report on how it's going.
Yeah, definitely.